Hey guys, it's Dani. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to thank you guys so much for the response on part 1 of my ectopic pregnancy story. I could not believe how many of you reached out to me and told me that you had either been through an ectopic or have infertility issues, whether it be, PCOS, or you struggle with chemical pregnancies or frequent miscarriages. I could not believe how many people just around me have those issues going on. And please, if you have not seen part 1, it's linked down below and it'll also be tagged at the end of this video, but make sure you watch it. And if something in there relates to you, if you have questions about something that I said, you just want to talk to someone, feel free to talk to me. You can follow me at the Dani Seide on Instagram, or you can just comment down below and chat with me there. Today I wanted to record part 2 of my story just because I know so many of you are following the story and really could use some encouragement right now in your journey. Infertility is it's a tough topic. It's a struggle. I was telling some people that reached out to me last week when I posted this how I had recorded that and really struggled with deciding to post it. It sat recorded and edited on my computer for quite a while before I actually sent it off to YouTube. And I was talking to one of my friends about it, and it is so sad how embarrassed women are about infertility, because we are looked at and looked down upon, and we make ourselves feel less than because we can't do what women are supposed to do, or it's harder for us to do what women are supposed to do. It's getting pregnant is hard, and that's something I really did not realize until I went through this. If you watch till the end, I have some other links, and there's another YouTuber who has an amazing story that some of you may have heard of. But if you have infertility issues and you have gone through this pregnancy journey and have had so many ups and downs and you feel hopeless, besides listening to my story, there is another story that you must hear. It is so encouraging to me, and she encouraged me a lot when I went through my ectopic, so stay tuned to the end for that. So where we left off last time, I had just been treated for ectopic pregnancy. I was at home, very depressed, going through multiple blood draws. A lot of you have questions about that. Let me just elaborate a little bit. Your HCG levels, which is your blood levels when you're pregnant. The higher the level, usually the stronger the pregnancy, I guess, or how much more pregnant you were. Keep in mind, when I went to my first doctor's appointment, I was over 2 months pregnant, so mine was kind of high. And then when you go get your blood draws, like I told you in part 1, you have to eat foods that do not contain folic acid, because the folic acid will build up your HCG levels and it'll help, it won't help it go down. Like I told you guys, for me, I just ate a lot of ice cream and chocolate syrup because 1, I was depressed, and 2, everything else has folic acid in it. So I ended up being at 0 at the end of March. I went to the doctor on February 21st, and I had my first blood draw that following Monday. So I think that February 21st was either a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then that Monday I had my first blood draw. And as I told you guys before, it took forever for me to get down. It wasn't going down fast, and I was doing everything I could. And they told me that if I went over a month for blood draws, that I would have to get another treatment or surgery. So that really stressed me out because I did not want another treatment, and I surely did not want surgery. This prolonging this nightmare that I was living in. But at the end of March, I finally got to 0. And you would think, wow, what a relief. This is great. You feel, back to normal. No. It was... No one probably even knows this. I don't even know if my family knows this. My husband knows, but my family probably doesn't even know what happened after I got to 0. So I was obsessed with having another baby right then, because I felt like I had failed, and I felt like I had lost this baby that I wanted so badly, that my family wanted so badly, that my students were so excited about. I felt like a failure, and it was so sick because it was almost like I wasn't even sad for myself. I was sad for everyone else. My little cousin, who's not so little anymore, she was 14 at the time, maybe turning 15, and she was so excited. And I felt so sad that I took that from her. I was blaming myself, even though everyone told me, nothing you could have done is not your fault. The doctors told me that. My parents told me that. I knew that, but I didn't feel that. So I became obsessed. So this is like April, where I had my last blood draw in March. I was at 0, and they said, you're in the clear. There's like, wait till you're emotionally ready, but you were in the clear to get pregnant again safely. Was I mentally ready? No. Was I physically ready? Probably not. But I went and did it anyway. I went and tried to get pregnant anyway. And Christopher, he had decided, if we have a kid, that's great. He wants a baby, but he said, whenever you are ready, make sure you are ready before we start trying for a baby. And what I said was that I'm not trying. Oh, this cloud just came through. I'm sorry about that. I said, my mouth said, no rush. Let's take our time. There's no need to rush. No need to rush into trying again. We'll do this when it's our time to do it, and just let's let it happen as it happens. That's what my mouth was saying, because that's what I wanted to believe. What the heck am I doing to my hair? That's what I wanted to believe. That's what I wanted to do, and I wanted everyone to think I was doing. But no, I was obsessed. I was reading every Facebook post I could find. I was still searching on YouTube like crazy, to no avail. There was nothing there. I was Googling on Baby Center. I was doing everything I could possibly do to find out everything I could about getting pregnant after ectopics. How soon did you get pregnant after ectopic? How long did you wait? Safety after ectopic. Like, everything I could find, I was just bombarding myself with it. So internally, I was like going crazy. But on the outside, I was okay. I was collected. It was like, no big deal. It's over. We're just moving on from it. We're just going to let it happen when it happens. Major fail. Major fail. My aunt and uncle, they actually, they gave us furniture for a future baby's room. And they were super, considerate and thoughtful. And they were like, if this is too much for you right now, don't, just let us know. We'll get rid of it. But we know that you and Chris eventually will expand. So we have this furniture. We want you to have it. And I wanted it. And we got it to the house. And Chris and my dad were like, we'll just put it in the garage until, you guys are ready for it. And I was like, no, we need to put it up. We need to put it up right now. Thinking back, I realized I'm realizing how obsessed I was and how unhealthy this was. But I made them set it up the day it got to my house. Whew, they did. They put it all up, and I was like, okay, good. Here we go. I'm on the road to getting this baby here. Around mid-April, towards the end of April, I was supposed to get my period, and I didn't. And I thought I was pregnant. I got so excited. I was like, oh, yes, I must be pregnant. So I went. When we talk about the testing, I went on Amazon. There's nothing wrong with this. If you're someone that's trying to get pregnant in a healthy way and you're ready for that and you are testing ovulation, all those things, there's a kit on Amazon, 100 ovulation tests and 100 pregnancy tests. And it was like $20. I had that kit. I had it kit in my drawer, and I was able to test what I needed to. So I did that. I had the test, and I knew I had been ovulating, and so I took one of those tests out, took a test, and it was like the most faint little line. Like, if you know about, checking those lines to see if there's a little bit there, they say it's positive, and it gets stronger as it goes. But it wasn't too faint where you couldn't see it, but there was a line there, and I was like, oh snap, I must be pregnant. So from there, I went and bought a digital test, which also said I was pregnant. So here I am. February, I had ectopic and lost a baby. April, I'm pregnant. No one knows that. Chris knows that. My mom knows that. My dad knows that. No one else knew that. Yeah, so I was pregnant again. And this time, obviously, it was like lockdown. Nobody knew. Don't talk about it. It's like it's taboo. Say nothing, do nothing, woof like normal. Because last time it didn't go so well, but I was so excited. Chris was excited. Everybody's excited, but so cautious. And one thing that breaks my heart to think about is how, after going through that ectopic, that innocence and excitement of pregnancy and getting a positive and being like, oh, you know, we're gonna have this baby. Like, when we first saw our first positive in 2018, and we were thinking about the baby and planning for the baby, and just baby we didn't even know, baby that hadn't even really developed yet. We were so excited and thinking about that baby. That innocence and that excitement was gone. It never ever came back. So in April, when I got pregnant, we were happy, but so cautious and so nervous, and every little, you know, ache, pain, pinch, everything just made me think crazy things. So called my doctor right away. Once again, they were like, all right, well, you're not going to wait until 8 weeks. We're going to get you in here next week. So at the time, I was probably 4 weeks since I just got a positive. And they were like, okay, next week, we need you to come in. We're going to do blood draws because you're high risk now because of history of ectopic. So I'm waiting. This is a week now. I am going to work like normal. No one knows. Everything's normal. And then that following week, my friend Savannah, that I told you guys about before, she is just so in tune with me that it's you would think I've known her for years and years and years and years, and I haven't. I met her in 2016, and she's just been part of my life since, and I love her very much. But she saw me one day in her classroom, and she goes, something's different about you. And I was like, no, nothing, nothing's different about me. And she was like, all right. I was pregnant. She just knew. She knew I was pregnant. I was supposed to go to the doctor like 2 days after that conversation. So that night, after work, I went home, and driving home. So my commute from work stinks. It's like over an hour. So I'm driving home from work, and I just feel so like period cramps. It feels like I'm cramping like for a period. And I'm like, what? Like, what is this? What's going on? Like, oh, so much cramps and so much pain, and I just didn't know what was happening. So I get home, I go inside to the bathroom, and there's just blood everywhere. Blood everywhere. I just cried. I cried and cried because I could not believe that now I'm actually having a natural miscarriage, it seems. So I don't tell anyone at that moment. I clean up, get in the shower, and I get in my bed. That's what I did. And first person I called was my doctor to cancel my appointment. That's all I wanted to do. I was like, I don't need to come anymore. And she was like, no, you really need to come. It could be dangerous for you to just do this naturally at home with no intervention or whatever. And I really didn't want to do that. But I did, and ended up telling my mom and my husband, and everyone was informed. And turns out I had a chemical pregnancy. Chemical pregnancy is just extremely early miscarriage that happens before even 5 weeks, typically. And my doctor actually thinks that mine was due to the medication I had to take for my ectopic, the methotrexate, which was a cancer drug. They think that that had something to do with that pregnancy failing. And I was so numb. I was so numb and so done at that moment. So that was April. Now, after that, I gave up. I was like, I'm just not going to be a mom. I'm just not. We had this amazing trip to Punta Cana planned for July, and I was like, I just want to go to Punta Cana. I want to chill. I want to drink. I want to relax, and I don't want to think or do anything. And that was the plan. I was not trying, nothing, just, I want nothing to do with it. I'm not going to be a mom. Forget it. I'm over it. So, in July, my husband's best friend, Nate, got married, and his cousin got married, and he was in both weddings. So we had to travel to Ohio for one wedding and then come back for the other wedding. And that was a crazy time. I was still really sad, still really depressed, super awkward, because before we saw everyone, I was pregnant, about to have a baby, and now I felt like the girl who just had a miscarriage. And I felt like everyone was staring at me like in pity. And that was hard and awkward. But got through the weddings and came on home. Got from the weddings, everything's good and normal. I'm supposed to get my period, and even though I'm not trying and I've let it go and I'm like, you know, I don't need to deal with this anymore, I am hoping for some sick reason that my period doesn't come. Like, I'm actually thinking that. Like, well, what if it doesn't come and I'm actually pregnant? It did come. I wasn't pregnant. Went on this amazing trip for a week, 7 days to Punta Cana with my family. And Chris and I had the most amazing time. Like, we had a great time. It was so relaxing. I didn't have a care in the world because Wi-Fi wasn't great. I wasn't talking on the phone because international charters were insane. So literally, I was just laying on the beach, going to dinner. Everything's included. It was the most amazing time, and it was exactly what my soul needed. There was one night where I was in the hotel with Chris, and we were on the resort, and I just looked at him and I was like, what if we're never gonna have a kid? It's like, what if we just never have one? Like, what if I just can't do it? And he was like, we're gonna have a kid. Like, we're gonna have a kid. And I was like, but what if I can't do it? Like, you're being positive, you're trying to just, you know, give me this pep talk, but seriously, what if I can't do it? And he said, well, the doctors have said you're healthy. These things just happen. And the doctor had told us that even at that point of having the ectopic and a chemical pregnancy, that we weren't even weird yet. Like, this isn't even anything odd yet. This is still very normal. People go through multiple miscarriages before it becomes an issue where you need treatments. So, I just kind of let it go. I just kind of blew it off and was like, okay, yeah, well, maybe I will have a kid one day. We come home from Punta Cana, and that August was both of my cousins got married that August. I was in one of the weddings, and found out I was pregnant. Found out I was pregnant in August of 2018. Just to recap, February 2018, had ectopic, treated. April 2018, pregnant, had a chemical. Now, August 2018, pregnant again. Not excited, not feeling hopeful, feeling pretty nervous and scared. Like I said, that innocence and excitement is gone. Go to these weddings. I'm actually in one of the weddings. And actually, before I even get to that wedding, the second wedding, actually, not true. I was in both weddings. Sorry. 2 weddings. I was in one and then just had to attend the other, both my cousins. And my cousin's wife, Tori, she's so sweet. I love her so much. She knew, this is her first time seeing me since the ectopic. So she saw me, she hugged me, she's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm like, don't think about it. There's your wedding day. But I did tell her, I was like, I whispered in her ear that, and I'm pregnant. Like, I'm pregnant again. She was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm praying. Like, she was just so excited and felt so much relief because you could tell she felt awkward to like see me for the first time after this. Everyone did. And that the shot home from my cousin Troy's wedding, and that weekend was my little cousin London's birthday party. She had a pool party, and I was so excited to go to this pool party because I'm pregnant. Everything's great. I wake up that morning. It's gonna be a great day. All my younger cousins are gonna be there. It's gonna be so much fun. Wake up in the morning, go to the bathroom, blood everywhere. Blood everywhere. When I tell you that was such a gut punch for me, like I felt like someone just socked me in the chest. It was in that moment I completely gave up. I was like, it is not going to happen. And looking back now, I realize how almost, it's almost inconsiderate. It's almost selfish of me to even have felt that way, because there's so many women after my first video that I've talked to that have gone through 5, 6, 7, 8 miscarriages. And here I am just in 1 year going through these few, and I was completely defeated and falling apart. But still, at the moment, that's how I felt. So, devastated. Didn't go to the doctor this time. That's not healthy. Don't do that. Didn't go to the doctor. Just let it naturally happen at home because I didn't want to be bothered with it anymore. So, that's what I did. That was August. And then in September, Nova woke up from her nap. You let mommy tell a story about how you got here? No, not up. Let it naturally happen at home because I didn't want to be bothered with it. Not healthy. I don't recommend it. It's very painful, very stressful, and just get help. But at the time, was not thinking about any of that. So that was that morning. The afternoon, I had to go to the pool party. I was so just done and devastated and over it. But I went to this party for my cousins, had fun, played with them, did everything, all the while I'm actively miscarrying at the party. Like, I am cramping and feeling everything happening during this party for, I think she was like turning 6 at the time. No. She was turning 6. All happening. And, so that next month in September was my 1-year anniversary, and Christopher knew how hard of a year it had been for me, and how just emotionally drained I was, and I was just so excited to do something. And he got me amazing tickets with amazing seats to Bruno Mars concert. It was so much fun. We had so much fun, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It was like the best moment of the year for me. If you know me, my dream in life is just, I always have this vision, this like dream. When I was little, always my parents say, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? And I would say, I want to go into a stadium, like a football stadium, and just have gold confetti fall all over me, like just rain all around me in a room full of balloons. It matters, trust me. At that concert, I will insert a clip of the video here. I think during Locked Out of Heaven, gold confetti erupted in this stadium and poured all over everyone in the front rows. And I remember looking at Chris and I was just like, oh my, like he knew how, this is just something I've always wanted, and I can make it happen. Excuse me, ma'am. And it did, and I was like, this is, little do I know, that was just God just telling me the good things were on the way. And you guys, I felt so at peace and encouraged in that moment. And guys, I am so sorry about the noise. That's Nova, who found her baby monitor on the ground. We go. So, kind of long. There is one more part to this video, to this story. And if you are someone who is in the middle of your fertility journey, please, please don't miss this last part of my journey, because it is the most encouraging, uplifting part of the story. And it's exactly what I would have needed, that I need to see and hear when I was going through all of this. So make sure you subscribe. Oh, before I go, the other YouTuber I want to tell you about, her name is Desi Perkins. If you have never heard of her, search her up right after this video. Don't go right now. Also tag the videos I'm talking about down in the description. Her story is amazing. She posted, it was just like, so I clicked it, and it was all about her infertility and how she and her husband have been trying for so long and nothing was happening. And it was then I was like, wow, like, it's not just me. Because I'm telling you, it feels like it's just you. If you are in this right now or went through this recently, it feels like it's just you and that no one else ever goes through this and it's just you, and like you're failing or that you failed. It feels that way. So to hear someone else say it, it was uplifting. Comment down below. Let me know how you feel, how you're feeling. Take care of yourself. Self-care is the most important thing. You are the most important thing. That's all I'm going to say today. I hope you like this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.